All it today is the 1 month anniversary of the UNC in office. We go get to that. People, let me start this thing, right? Hi, Yvette. Hi, Margaret. Hi, Christopher. Hi, Jackie. And all those who will be tuning in on locked on. If I don't see your name here, then I won't be able to call it because when I look on top, I'm seeing who's there, but I wouldn't know the names, right? Thank you all for always coming to hang out and listen to what I have to say. Thank you so much. I love you all. I don't know you all personally. I saw Miss Yvette once, but I don't know everybody else personally. But I am always grateful. Hi, Danielle. Hi, Maria. Hi, Pammy. I always want to thank you all because you all make this really possible, and I do not like to take things for granted. Yeah. Hi, Wilma. I don't take things for granted. Hi, Sharon. I suddenly pledge to dedicate my life to the service of my God and my country, honor my parents, my teachers, my leaders, my elders, and all those in authority. I'll be clean and honest in all my thoughts, my words, and my deeds, and I'll strive in everything I do to work together with my fellow men of every creed and race for the greater happiness of all and the honor and glory of my country. And I do love my country. Hi, Davison. Hi, Melka. So let me start eating, people. I want to say big shout out to Bounce Up Central. Usually they take my live and they run it on their platform. So I want to thank the directors of Bounce Up Central for always affording me that opportunity. So persons can view me on YouTube. Yes, Papa. On YouTube and Bounce Up Central. And they have a lot of programs there. There's a platform for people who have different things to share and different programming. You have Fearless Warrior there, you have the Dauntless Defenders of, oh gosh, something, but I don't know what. So big shout out again. And I also want to send happy birthday greetings to one of my peeps who's always locked on and tuning in. And if anybody else have birthdays, hi Joyce, if anybody else have birthdays this month, still to come, or has gone already, send me a message so that I would know because I have my birthday song I just play. So this one is the Root Fin. Happy, and strong Root Fin. So let me get into it.
Let me go, Travis. Feeling the sing. I feeling the sing. I feeling the sing. I feeling the sing. Sing happy birthday to you. Sing happy birthday to you. Sing happy birthday. Sing happy birthday. Happy birthday to. One more time, let me go. Sing happy birthday to. Oh my God! Happy birthday to you. Sing happy birthday. Sing happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Love it. Yeah. So I just shout out the greetings there to one of my peeps, Rufen, and all those who are celebrating birthdays this month and those to come. Yeah, so this is the birthday segment. Hi Joyce, hi Judy. I think I said Danielle already. So as I was saying, today is the 1 month anniversary of the UNC having won by default the government, the general election, because all they know, if PNM people had come out, it just needed about 15,003 or 8 or something certain to come out. In them 9 constituencies, that were the 9 MPs lost, 15,000 something to come out. UNC will never win. So that's why I said UNC win by default. That's not a big victory for them because this is the lowest turnout in a long time in voters. And not only that, Kamala Basabi says only win about 400 and something votes, and all of the rest of them, plenty of them, Munilal, etc. The votes they get in 2020, less than win again also. The UNC win is a default, nothing to think. So let me tell you some of the things that would have happened since I've been there for the month. Hi, Emmeline. We had the Prime Minister Kamala Basabi says to come out and speak that they're going to send Dr. Munilal to Grenada, and then we had the Prime Minister Grenada saying, "What? We are gas and oil, and we are not more that. We could commercialize it. I do not know that." And then we hear there was a nutmeg field, a nutmeg saying that a Russian company was there doing some work, but whatever they find wasn't enough to commercialize, meaning that it could sell for any money. And not only that, if we were to go there to start any drilling again, it will cost money, and that whole process till it reach, if they were to find gas, any type of commercialization, will take about up to 10 years. Yeah, that's the first one. Well, not the first one, this is just one of many. Then the 10% that Felicia Thomas and they were walking around and telling public officers, vote UNC because UNC going to 10%. I don't think public officers heard the starting point of negotiation is 10%. I think them just here 10%. Well, we see how that go. I don't know if public officers voted for the UNC, but if they did, okay, where's the conversation with the 10% increase? We hear now is a 10% starting point, and we hear now they're going to explore options. That is not what I was telling people, Felicia Thomas, but all they get very quiet. Because in my opinion, all they get all they wanted, you and Robertis, etc. Because all they from WASA, and all the concern was always for WASA, again, in my opinion. All they get them to tear up the whole restructuring of WASA, everything is fine in WASA, and all they done with the public officers. So there's no talk again by no public officer about the 1 or 10%. And not only that, it is strange in a month time, you ain't hearing people talking about this suffering. All of a sudden, there's no more suffering in Trinidad and Tobago. Nobody's suffering. Nobody go eat grass. The place is disintegrating. We go come like Haiti. You ain't hear nothing at all. In the last month, you ain't hear nothing. You ain't even see them putting up on the news, the murders, nothing. Everything just calm. You hear people willing to love Trinidad. They don't want to live here because they'll be second-class citizens. Everything in the world is good now. UNC is in office for the last month. Everything is fine. But under the surface, crime still continuing apace. Public officers still haven't got an increase in their salary since 2013. And it has nothing to do with Dr. Rowley taking the money from the SRC. Because again, I want to tell all you. Kamala Basabi's sister in 2013, when the SRC came, when she was in office, with the proposed salary, she rejected it. They say it was an insult. The opposition rejected it, the government rejected it. They find it was an insult, the SRC went back and do the work and come back 2024. Dr. Key Christopher Rowley accepted it on behalf of 900 plus senior public officers and all parliamentarians, including parliamentary secretaries, senators, and MPs, and Prime Minister. Yeah. Not only that, she would have said, when asked by a reporter if she's not, I'm putting it my way, people, if she's not going to take the increase in salary. And she said that she can't do anything about it. And then Indira, the one from UE, Dr. Indira from UE, said that they can't do nothing because it was never passed in Parliament. And I played the video showing it was passed in Parliament. And then Kamala Basabi said she can't do nothing about that, which is ironic because in 29, anywhere around there, so when there was some increase in salary, she would have talked about the increases in salary, and Mr. Mannen would have reverted all members of Parliament, everybody back to the original salary, and they wasn't getting new salary. So again, come up as a disaster and lies. It's not me calling she so, it's the thing she's saying, right? So we had that happening. So as I say again, nobody talking about the 10% public officers very quiet because things is nice, now the code is yellow, everybody happy, UNC win, everybody win. So apparently, public officers win something that me know about because nobody say nothing. And Felicia them just get to walk away easy. Lyra Betis become the Minister of Labour. He go anyway, and Felicia could sashay back into Wassa and must get a big job. I don't know. Then we had Dave Tanku saying that the persons who pay the property tax, they will back the money. Papa, the Prime Minister come and say, I never tell Tanku that no Tanku where get any money from, so they ain't get back no money. And she did say a thing that she did tell her not to pay. So who pay getting punished for it? And now she's asking where the money gone. She wants to know the property tax gone, where the money gone. So that is something to keep your eye on because I don't understand what she asking. She must know it gone. Okay. Then we had PM2, Mr. Barry, going to Whitehall to, in my opinion, to try to make a case why Kamala Prasad assessors should be allowed to stay at home to do work. No, we didn't need to go through all that now because during COVID-19, a lot of work was being done by home and all around the world now, especially after COVID-19, a lot of people work from home. So you don't have to make a big case. Once we know that she's doing the work, she's doing video call, it is secured and that, no see. But the boy went about with a big elaboration. He went to Whitehall, said the place dilapidated, the time more, that. And then when we saw the pictures, we saw that the downstairs or the ground floor of the Whitehall had some issues. They were in the process of treating with it. All the workers who were there, they were sent to other locations to work, and the rest of the buildings of the Whitehall is safe. And then now when OSHA must hear about that, OSHA must say, health and safety in the Prime Minister's office, we have to come down there and check on that. And here OSHA come, they don't allow them to go in. I think if you are telling the public that more and this and the building dilapidated, you would already want OSHA to come into OSHA to say, get out. When the reporters say, let us go in to take pictures, they will refuse to go. I think you'd have been happy. Let the reporters go and take out all the pictures and show me and say, look at the place, look at the dilapidated. But that didn't happen. Then that all quiet down. Then next thing we see, PM2, Mr. Barry, and another one walking out from the Ting Palace there in Philippines with documents in their hand. They said they went and had meeting with the Prime Minister, whatever. Okay. Then the next thing we hear, PM2 gone by Mr. Barry, gone by Diplomatic Center. Oh, and a whole bacchanal there again. Then we saw pictures. Nothing is wrong with the Diplomatic Center. That good ain't good enough. He come out to show her the yard, and the yard ain't clean and pool ain't clean and all that. And I want to know if Dr. Oli was supposed to clean that. Dr. Oli haven't lived there for a while. Where are the public officers or where are the private contractors or whoever it is to clean the yard? Then after, the boy gone and walk through the scanner machine and say it ain't working, it ain't working. And when you look, all the plug on the ground ain't plugged into the socket. Then next thing you see, he rolled up a trolley with drinks and talking about Dr. drink from and look the drinks there, wherever it is. And I am saying to myself, good God, it's Diplomatic Center. So it have guests will come there, foreign guests, local guests, regional guests, and whatnot. There must be an array of drinks for them to drink because some people just drink, some people don't. You must have drinks, and the Prime Minister's president is Diplomatic Center. That went flat. Then after one of the senators, I was reading, saying, like his opinion is to get rid of the election process and like to get some criminal investigation into Miss Faith Nass's scope and EBC workers and officers and lock them up, criminal charges. That's how I interpret it. So that way he looking at some a lad man or something. So right, that's a senator. And then after that now, we have Qatar's, well, let's call him for Minister Stuart Young. I just call him Qatar's now. Qatar's, Roberts, and Ugly Robert Lee. All three of them is ministers in HTC. Not only that, we had other ministers being sworn in. We have these big ministries. We have, listen, how much money that goes in taxes? That's the next story. Now we also have a Speaker of the House, where there's some questionable things about his past. That is Jagdeo, Speaker of the House, Jagdeo Singh. There's a whole next bacchanal. We ain't hear nobody talking about it, but I'm going to play a tape with it put together, and all of the judges, me didn't say so. Then we had people being sent home left, right, and center, people being told, get out and go, 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 go. Go wait till the contract finishes, go. We had people getting laid off from, sent home from Wassa, all over, all the programs under Ministry of Development, National Services that abandoned because they go back to Ministry of Sport and Affairs, all that done, then my part, and all them programs back to work looking forward to. So I'm just giving you a snapshot of a month. In the political life of the UNC 2025. And this is just one. I want to tell some people, nobody is stopping all you from supporting who they want to support. And whatever opinion all they have, me don't get involved in that. But me, I do vex with nobody for whatever, whoever they want to support and their opinion. So what I'm talking about is this. So everybody know by now, it is obvious, my member of parliament is Stuart Richard Young. That is who I've been voting for since 2015. I came into Port of Spain to live. It is obvious if I'm voting for Stuart Richard Young, and have been doing so since 2015, any position that he wants to take up, and I know he's capable of doing it, not that he needs my approval, but I will support, that is my minister. Nobody else will to support him. I make no qualms or nothing about saying that who I support. So we have a situation now if you want to put it so, with the General Council and Dr. Rowley stepping out as Prime Minister, utilizing the Constitution of Trinidad and Tobago, using that process in order to put Minister Stuart Young. Had people didn't agree, some vex because they did. All kind of things, human beings, that will happen. But to me, from the time everybody signed and say they're giving support, I think it should have ended there because the bigger picture apparently didn't end there. Backbite and back this whole thing. So we are at a place where the People's National Movement lost the election, 13 seats, UNC get 26, Tobago 2, so it's 28, right? We are 13. About 9 members of parliament of the PNM, or the candidates would have lost. So everybody know that I support Stuart Richard Young, but I don't write that. When I respond to people on social media, I don't put, I vote for Stuart Young. I don't be talking that. What I just be saying, and I keep saying it over and over again, this is my opinion, and I'm asking people kindly to tell me where I'm wrong so that I'll have the proper information. From everything I've read and what I've seen, I keep saying the opposition leader to me, because me speaking on for nobody, because nobody put me to speak for them, I'm speaking for myself. The opposition, in my opinion, is weak. It does not mean I don't like the opposition leader. It does not mean that I ridiculing her or insulting her or disrespecting her, right? I said I find that she's weak, and I would have stated the reasons why. I keep asking people, you tell me she's a nice lady. I know she's a nice lady. I met her a couple of times, very cordial. Very nice, very quiet, very reserved. I understand that, I appreciate that. I used to see on Facebook, she doing little stick fight. I used to laugh, because I ain't a West Village. She baking, she making pulori, she up and down, she cutting coconut and all. I didn't cut no coconut with no papa. Right, that is good. Become member of parliament in the people. But he is a opposition leader, and that comes at a different skill set. And I've never known the opposition leader. Let me call her name because I don't want it as long as to address her title. The opposition leader, the Honorable Penelope Beckers Robinson. I know it will take a different set. It will not just walk on the people is a different skill set because you're inside. And it wouldn't be physical skills. Wow, worse. I find that she's up to the task. So I've been asking people, give me, tell me something where I could hold on to and say, well, yes, okay, whatever. Nobody has been able to tell me nothing more than say she's nice, she's quiet, and I admit, yes, she is. But I don't think that will help in Parliament, right? I've spoken to persons who that could affect the opposition leader's chances or PNM chances and when the same two hosts, everybody does get to support who they want to support and talk. And let me tell you what disingenuous people is, right? We getting information that there were people going around in Labre, Moruga, and those areas and telling voters, don't vote for Stuart Young. Me I call nobody name. That I say we was hearing. We was hearing they even say that not let PNM no say go build back. I don't know how true me I call nobody name, so nobody can say I say Tom, Dick, or Harry. Those are the reports we were getting. And but PNM is a black party, and I want to tell them who are saying them thing, whoever it was, if it is true, them is hypocrites. Because the blackest man was the Prime Minister, the People's National Movement, Dr. King Christopher Rowley, and all they say too black, all they say too ugly to run and rule run the PNM. So that was the man all they should attach to. People call him rapist, pedophile, all that, all they come out and defend them. The Women's League used to write or put out a letter and whatever it is. All they used to come out, party groups used to come out, all they used to come out and defend Dr. King Christopher Rowley, the blackest Prime Minister we had. When they call him pedophile and rapist, his mother raped, his father raped his mother, and he born a child rape, and then he went, all they come out and protest against that. When Mrs. Kamala Persad tell Madam Camille Robinson Regis, because she called she name and say Kamala Shushela Persad. And 9 days later, Kamala Shushela Persad had a problem and went on a platform and said that Camille Robinson Regis has she slave master name. We went out and marched against that, where all it was. All who want to be talking about black this and black party, where all it was to come out to support Mrs. Camille Robinson Regis. When Kamala Shushela Persad, who is now Prime Minister again, said that she has she slave master name, because we know what that meant. So what are you telling me about who is always more blasted hypocrite than me? Because I talk in the truth. I don't stop nobody from supporting who they want to support. Look at the situation with MP Hines at the time and Kareem Marcel, the attorney. But tell you something, eh? People that talk, they talk and all kind of choppiness, but they don't like to stand for what is right. I didn't know Miss Shoma Wilson all that well. I used to support her and she was on radio. If I see her, I say, hey, Miss Wilson, Ting and whatever, but I don't know how, like personally, whatever. I felt so honored when she called me and asked me, is that she sent me a message or she called me? I called her back, 1 out of the 2, and asked me if I could come down because Kareem Marcel's son was passing the bar. I felt honored. I didn't know I was having nothing. I go along. While I'm down there now, I say, you know what, I'm going to carry this life. And I started to talk to people around. Her grandmother tell me her granddaughter graduated and how it was so hard for the mother, all that. And I make little story thing. And I was right by the door when Kareem Marcel, the attorney from Beaton, walk out. Even before his mother see him. I bring that life. I was right there, giving support. After that, international started to drag Kareem Marcel all over. I was right there, fighting back on behalf of Kareem Marcel, the attorney, and all the other bright boys and girls from Sealands, Beaton, and environs. I always supported Kareem Marcel, the attorney. My issue I had with the situation with MP Hines, and that I felt his handlers, whoever it was, could have handled the situation a little more discreetly. But I said nothing. Me ain't condemn nobody who was supporting, and me say nothing. But I continue to support. I'm happy at the end of the day that he was given the nod to represent that constituency. I didn't like how there was what I didn't go about and cuss nobody. Me ain't go out and tell nobody, don't say this, whatever the case. So what's the problem now? Me ain't cussing nobody. That was telling nobody can say I'm lying, no. Nobody can say I'm lying, no. Call me hypocrite and all that. But all I alone can support who all I want to support. And talk bad about everybody else. But nobody else mustn't support nobody. And don't care say nothing. So the person who tell me that Kamala Persad says I cut Stuart Young ass, I think you sound more like an ass in saying that. Because Kamala Persad successor and the UNC ain't getting no new votes. All the talk and say with the PNM and this and that, they didn't gain no new votes. In fact, people like Rural Munilan and others, they lost votes. The votes they get in 2020, in 2025 was less. Kamala Persad says only when she constituency got about 400 and something votes. So what cut us? The cut us, Stuart Young. I know no cut us. And when you look at the 9 constituencies where PNM lose, it only need about 15,008 votes in all them constituency for PM to be back in office again. So what cuttass is that? How it could be a cuttass when a party win by default, when PNM people refuse to go and vote? How that? They don't know cuttass. They don't know. They not to think about. So you telling me about Churchong get cuttass? Churchong win the constituency, and even when they get more votes than the opposition leader, the Honorable Penelope Beckers Robinson. Come now, man. Do better than that. If all they cannot support or cannot come with any information or evidence to show that what I say is not true, then what? Tell me what is Mrs. Honorable Opposition Leader, Mrs. Penelope Beckers Robinson, what she has. Don't tell me nothing but when she was surprised and when she got in Parliament. Now, if that is true, that is deceitfulness. Going for all them years, you never show nothing, but you're waiting till now to go in Parliament to show what you have, then that is deceitfulness. So that time not when she reached there, we want to know now, tell us. But don't vex with me. Let me not say we. Don't vex with me, because I support my member of Parliament. I'm my member of Parliament. And I believe that he has what it takes to do it. But if PNM people want the opposition leader, the Honorable Mrs. Penelope Beckers Robinson, that's all the business. Or they wanted Kamala too, and all they get Kamala. And what happening now? It have people walking about and they make a mistake. Right now, it have people walking about making this and make a mistake. So if all they don't want the strongest and the best for the PNM, but all they want to tote all their feelings. All they want to tote all their feelings. Because Dr. Roddy just dropped Siotong and all they want to get over that and don't study the best party to run this country, the PNM, and that they should be ready. Because who will suffer is Indian people children, Chinese people children, Syrian people children, African people children, all of we children and children will suffer. Because what? All the vex out Dr. Roddy just dropped Siotong and all that. Siotong is born here. He's not a citizen here. And show me anywhere in the history of the PNM it said that it's a black party. What is true is a lot of people of African descendants vote for the PNM, but show me anywhere in the history of PNM that PNM is a black party. So the group of them are going around, them is the black elites and the black caucus. Them could run the party and run what? Run it to the ground? All them members of the organization called the Black Caucus? That was a beautiful thing. I didn't buy a jersey because I tell myself I said I'm waiting for the next shoe to drop. Not because I wanted it to drop, but because I understand the players around them thing. That can't go. I want to the Black Caucus. My husband also sent me buy jersey and buy one face. I said, give me my $100. I'm not buying no jersey. What happened to it? That was a beautiful experience. Something can come out of that grocery, hospital, all kind of thing. What it is all they do with it? All in a store black conveniently to fool people. So that is my conversation on that. So allow me, if I have information and evidence to show that our honorable opposition leader, Mrs. Penelope Beckers Robinson, is a strong woman. I'm not talking about physical strength, where you can take vitamins and eat and iron and all that. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about to stand up and do battle, political battle in the parliament, be very coherent, be very intelligent, be very this conversation that you don't have to talk loud to be sure. Of course, we know that. It have people that talk very, very soft. But when they don't talk, it cuts you like a knife because trust me, you get the message. I'm not seeing Ms. Beckers doing that. So don't tell me nothing again when she reached there. You have to exhibit those things from before. But if all they have evidence that in her ministries that she worked, she would have done ABC, let me know so I could talk about it. Let me big shot. If all they know she do let me know. I go big shot on my show. In the absence of that, left me alone. If you don't want me to comment on a page, block me from your page. You have the right to do that. I wouldn't vex. But don't feed me no bullshit that I is no hypocrite and I spreading false narrative. Who the ass says all to tell me that is all you spreading false narrative? I'm more hypocrite than me, boy. And with all I say, let me vex it all you. All you don't understand how to chew gum and speak at the same time. Another one tell me, just because I support Stuart Chung, I think, listen to me. If my member of parliament do shit, I letting him know respectfully. He don't have to take what I say. You think if my member of parliament didn't have what to take, and there's no evidence, information or to show he could do the work, and he going up for the work, you think I'm going to encourage him? I was one constituent not going to encourage him. I go say, no. You ain't had the skill for that. I not like all you know. Me like all who afraid to talk because they want something, getting something, should get something, whatever it is, you know. Me is not one of them, eh? Me know how to stay in the corner and handle my stories. Because me are no little babies. Me are no babies to mine. My trainers professional, them working, they can handle the stories. I mean, me living over with rain wetting me. So I don't know about other people. Me ain't afraid, once it's the truth I talking, to have an opinion and speak it respectfully. But you see, on my show here, I could say what the hell I want because I just have my receipts to show, and why don't know others ask that question. So I rest in that day. So when all they see me put up my post, and I said the opposition leader, come and show me. Show me where she's strong and she can do this and that, so I will be able to start to write that up, put it up. Come on, Miss Ron, big ship. In the absence of that, leave me the hell alone. And with all that, I still love all you. And your mother is a girl cut or something, still love you. Same thing. I don't take things personal like all you, you know. So let me leave that there. So, in the spirit of, in this country, Trinidad and Tobago, when Dr. Eric Eustace Williams would have formed the People's National Movement, excuse me, when what I got my minute? Give me 1 minute. When Dr. Eric Williams, excuse me, when I founded the People's National Movement, he did a lot of speeches. Woodford Square was called the University of Woodford Square. That's how he met people. And after gaining independence, he would have made certain speeches and stuff. I want to just bring this back to you all. That every creed and race find an equal place in this Trinidad and Tobago. I want to give all you a story of Best Village. We used to call it Better Village. And Best Village is going on now, so you all should go out and support. Ooh. Oh, excuse me, go out and support. Best Village will be in Tobago this weekend. Excuse me. Ooh. So those in Tobago, go out and support your groups. Go and give that support our culture, our heritage. So I'm reading this here. This was in 2013. Somebody would have written the Daily Express. It says here, shortly after independence, Prime Minister Dr. Eric Williams embarked on a Meet the People tour throughout the villages in Trinidad. At the end of the tour, he described the exercise as an unforgettable experience that brought me in contact with the ordinary people. Excuse me. As the nation's first Prime Minister, he said, All that was needed was to give the energy and enthusiasm I found in the villages the opportunities for self expression and a home in which to nurture the art, craft, and other cultural expressions of our people. Arising out of the tour, he announced a program called the Prime Minister's Best Village Trophy Competition, PMBVTV. The aim of the program was to accelerate building of community centers throughout the country and using these centers to promote the latent talents in the villages. Although he had traveled extensively during election campaigns, he admitted that he had not visited some of the areas in Trinidad and Tobago, especially in the rural areas. Excuse me. Williams said one of the valuable results of the tours was that I was able to know the country better than I did before. The report on his visit quoted him as saying, "It was not my first visit to La Anse Formée or Palituve. I already knew quite well La Filette or Brasa Seco, which has always been one of my favorite spots of natural beauty of the countryside. But the tour allowed me to pay my first visit to Aripo, a village way behind God's back. All that I could say to the people of Trinidad is that living behind God's back is beautiful." During the tour, Williams met with village council members, women's group, youth groups, sporting and cultural clubs, and agricultural credit societies. Everywhere he went, there were school children on hand to perform and entertain him. Inspired by this, Williams went on after the construction of community centers and other projects to establish in earnest the Better Village program under the direction of Joyce Wong Sang. I will come to that. In a recent interview said, under the direction of Joyce Wong Sang, his sister-in-law and cultural activist Norman Fullerton. Wong Sang, in a recent interview that was back then, said when the program started, she said, "We had no prior knowledge of what form it would take. We started from scratch, we made some mistakes, and by and large, it achieved the purpose set out by the Prime Minister." She explained that the vision of the Best Village, the Prime Minister's Best Village Trophy Competition, was to champion the integrated village concept in and amongst communities throughout Trinidad and Tobago. It was also to partner with other communities to identify and satisfy their needs through the provision of gender sensitivity, quality programs, and services. Wong Sang said the objective of the program was to empower communities by providing them with opportunities that will enhance the surroundings in which they live. It was also designed to promote national pride and to encourage folk art and upliftment of art in general, as well as identifying historical and environmental sites throughout Trinidad and Tobago. After serving as director of the program for 25 years, she retired. In 1992, she was awarded the Shakona Medal Gold for her services in the areas of cultural development. The competition started in January each year. Its aim was to build, preserve, and protect folk traditions and facilitate the growth of natural culture in categories of traditional carnival, handicraft, food and folk fair, environmental sanitation, and selection of a queen show called La Reine Rivée. Prizes also awarded in each category, with the overall winner receiving 200,000 prize. La Reine Rivée, a popular cultural presentation, is now the longest running queen competition in Trinidad and Tobago. It is open to females between the ages 16 to 25 years old. Many contestants from the Reine Rivée Queen competition went on to enter other queen competition. Excuse me. Let me read this here now, because I'm coming to something. So this was January 18, 2017, Daily Express. It says here, the late Best Village pioneer Joyce Wong Sang, was fondly remembered yesterday, that is back then, as Trinidad and Tobago's patriot, national icon, cultural ambassador, and consummate professional. Such was the measure of Wong Sang's life that 4 people paid tribute to her at a celebration of her life at St. Teresa's Roman Catholic Church, Woodbrook. Wong Sang, 85, was born in 1931 and died on January 14. Among the orators was her son Christopher Wong Sang, niece Erica Williams Cornell, daughter of the late Prime Minister Dr. Eric Williams, deputy political leader of the People's National Movement, Joe Neal Williams, and Minister of Community Development, Culture and the Arts, Dr. Nayan Gatsby Dully. Gatsby Dully brought greetings on behalf of the Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley, and the Cabinet. So let me show you all something. Okay. Well, then my nose will start to run, right? If you can see here, those are Dr. Eric Williams, the late great Dr. Eric Williams' mother and father. This here is a picture of young Eric Williams. Well, he wasn't doctors yet. Young Eric Eustace Williams. And, excuse me, this is a picture of the late Joyce Wong Sang, who is called the mother of Best Village, patriot of our culture. Right? Let me just read this. This is what Dr. Eric Williams said. Together, the various groups in Trinidad and Tobago have suffered together, they have aspired together, they have achieved. Only together can they succeed. And only together can they build a society, can build a nation. Can they build a homeland? There's no Mother India for those whose ancestors came from India. There can be no Mother Africa for those of African origin. There can be no Mother England and no dual loyalties. There can be no Mother China, even if one could agree as to which China is the mother. And there can be no Mother Syria and no Mother Lebanon. A nation, like an individual, can only have one mother. The only mother we recognize is Mother Trinidad and Tobago, and mother cannot discriminate between her children. So, Dr. Eric Williams' father's name was Thomas Henry. He was a minor civil servant, and his mother, Eliza Frances Bosset, was a French Creole mulatto elite of French and African ancestry. And as I said, Miss Joyce Wong Sang, known as Miss Best Village, the mother of the Prime Minister Best Village Trophy competition. She was of Chinese descent. So what Dr. Eric Williams would have said would have encapsulated all of his speech. And the reason why I'm commenting it is because this conversation, as I say, about PNM being a black party, and PNM is for the black elites. That was never, because Dr. Eric Williams wasn't pure African. His mother and them was French. So the French planters who came here, the white people, they had children with the grandmother and them come out mulatto. So that's why he had it softly so. Miss Joyce Wong Sang wasn't African. She was Chinese. But she was a part of a program that has lived on for today and to today. And it's a program that has a lot of people of African descent taking part. We also have a lot of people of Indian descent taking part. Yeah? So I'm trying to make a point. So when they're going around talking about PNM as a black party and black elites, let them go form the black party, but don't call it PNM. Because Dr. Eric Williams would not have tolerated nobody going around the country to tell nobody that no PNM is not black party and don't vote for Stuart Young because he's a Chinese. All the past, all the bullshit is all the who is the hypocrites. So why Stuart Young? Why we can't support Stuart Young, the Chinese Indian man? Why we can't support him? If all I want to support the African woman, nothing wrong with that. But operate as if we, let me rephrase that, me can't support the Chinese Indian man. He from Trinidad and Tobago, and mother can't discriminate against none of she children. I ain't watching race, I just watch face. I always say that if you're Indian descent and you disrespect me, I go disrespect you back. Chinese, Syrian, whoever the hell you is. Because plenty of people of my ethnic group is not part of my tribe. People of your tribe don't have to be from your ethnic group. All you go and read up and think about it. Once you're on equal right and justice, you're part of my tribe. Whether it's Chinese, whether it's Indian, whether it's Syrian, whether it's Venezuelan, Cuban, whoever it is. Once you stand for equal right and justice of people and fairness and equality, you're part of my tribe. You mightn't be part of my ethnic group, you're part of my tribe. So let me continue. So I'll leave it at that. Let me get on to something here now. So I'm seeing that the US, excuse me, excuse me, today is one of them, they'll be coughing. Oh gosh. I'm saying that the United States has halted student visas appointment and plans to expand social media vetting. And I saw this 13 hours ago in BBC.com. US President Donald Trump administration has ordered US embassies around the world to stop scheduling appointments for student visa as it prepares to expand social media vetting of such applicants. An official memo said social media vetting would be stepped up for students and foreign exchange visas, which would have significant implications for embassies and consulates. It came during a wide-ranging Trump crackdown on some of America's most elite universities. He sees these institutions as too far left or too far winged, too left wing, accusing them of failing to combat anti-Semitism when pro-Palestinian protests have unfolded on campuses. Responding to the move, China called on the US to protect international students. We urge the US side to earnestly safeguard. Oh, like a minute, Lord, this is stress. Oh Lord. Oh, they forgive me. Pray that all the children, all they don't suffer with sinus. It's not a nice thing. So as I was saying, we urge the US, that's China, we urge the US side to earnestly safeguard the legitimate rights and interests of international students, including those from China. An official was quoted as saying, hundreds of thousands of Chinese students attend US universities. The universities themselves are likely to be disquiet as well. Many of them rely on foreign students for a significant chunk of their funding, as those scholars often pay higher tuition fees. Foreign students who want to study in the US are usually required to schedule interviews at a US embassy in their home country before approval. State Department spokesperson Tammy Bruce told reporters on Tuesday, "We take very seriously the process of vetting who it is that comes into the country, and we are going to continue to do that." Right, so that's just a little part to read there. So that is a whole next drama. A whole next drama happening there. And when I see it as bizarre behavior with the University of the West Indies down at DB, it make me kind of, yeah. So I had started, because Friday is Indian Arrival Day. So I started to read in commemoration the many pictures of India. And as I was saying, because Mrs. Prasad family ancestors came from Bihar. Bihar is a rural, very rural province or state, I think it is. And a lot of them would have come here during indentureship. And it had, because of the injustice of the caste system, they were Dalits, they were the lower round of the spectrum, social spectrum. They were not a part of the four Varnas, and they were called untouchables, and they were doing jobs in India that the higher castes didn't do, like touching bodily fluids, removing carcass from the street, cleaning cesspits, and taking up garbage from the street and stuff like that. That is what they were doing, and it's not no fault of theirs or something should be embarrassed about, but it is a part of the history. But sometimes when you speak about it, people get offended. But I like to tell you, they love to tell you about Africa and the suffering of Africa, and we running wrong with bare breast and showing belly big and in swollen and those kind of things, right? Which, if you were to look at Africa today, is far from what they are saying. But as I was saying, I would have told you all about the image of just now the Yaman and excuse me. So the Dalit Yaman performer from the state, that these dancers, when there's been a trance and they embody all different divinities, they venerate, and they are storytellers, and they usually live, I think they are the ones who would dress like women. They are men, they dress like women and do the dances and stuff, right? So that's it. Then we had the who they call the rat people. No. Okay, so I'm mistaken. The Yaman is not, this is a religious ritual that originates in the north part of Kerala. So that's the one I'll show you with, right? That. The rat people is the one who they find their work. They are group, they are gender fluid entertainers within the community, and sometimes because of being poor and all that, they themselves eat the rats themselves. So you see, the rat, right? And then I spoke about the Ramani, a woman, her hair is shaven and her body is tattooed, and that was all part of the manifestation of chants, and stuff is in written form on her face and body and all that. So it's a very intricate, and they are all Dalits. And then I spoke about the one who does dive and go down under the water and come up with the money in its mouth. And they are the ones they would send to dive underwater to retrieve people who drown and all that. So that is the work that they do. And then there is the corner of Bihar again. These Dalit women resist upper caste restriction on jewelry by developing a unique form of adornment and tattoos using cow dung, bamboo, straw twigs, and palm leaves to construct their huts. They transform the walls into canvases. Forbidden from depicting Hindu deities, they found inspiration in nature. Today, their style of painting are renowned, serving as a source of livelihood and a testament to the creativity and courage of these women. So these are the women here, Dalit women, who they build their homes with cow dung and straws and stuff, and then they paint the inside of the homes. And then you have the professional mourners practicing the ancient or Pari mourning ritual deeply ingrained in the community of Dalits in Nandu. Listen, this thing is very intriguing. I hope that the Indian community does really be interested in it, like how I does be fascinated by some of the things I read in. So those are the persons from Bihar, where Mrs. Prasadi's sister family came from. It's very interesting history. But they are Dalits, and because of the inhuman caste system, they were left out of the four Varnas, and their work, of course, was work that the upper caste would not do. Very degrading work, of course, right? And so when indentureship came along, some of them, I'm sure, were very happy to leave India to find other sources of work because they were going through poverty, famine, hunger, and just the worst. But as Dr. Binzi Samaru said, you could never compare indentureship with enslavement of African people. Two different things and two different type of treatment. One was macabre and cruel and barbarous, and the other one was, yeah, they would have that indentured laborship. Yeah, it had its hardship. Yes, it would have had its cruelty, but there's no complaining. And there were Indians who were tasked with basically, in my opinion, fooling Indian people to get on the Fazal Razak to come here, making them feel that they come into this, that, and whatever, sell them a dream and all that. So sometimes when you hear they talking about African people sell African people into slavery and all, ask them what it is the Indian agents and they used to do. And that's conversation about selling each other into slavery and all that. Africa always had slavery, they didn't have enslavement. Because in Africa, when a tribe fights another tribe and you take prisoners, they became slaves. But in your tribe, that person wasn't looked on as an animal, less than an animal or anything like that, or property. They were still a human being, and you could have moved your way up into that tribe and even come and become, take over the tribe based on different scenarios, whether you're skilled in fighting or fish, whatever the case may be. So it's totally different than what we experience here. So if they were selling other African into enslavement who were doing business, I don't think they envision that type of cruelty would have happened to the children of Africa coming across the seas. I am very convinced, had they known the brutality of enslavement, chattel slavery, that would have never happened. But that's history. I'll give an opinion there. So let me continue quickly. So I'm saying that this was yesterday in Ghana, the US sanctioned businessman vying for Ghana's presidency. So the United States sanctioned billionaire businessman Azruddin Mohammed says he will contest. Just let me go again. The United States sanctioned billionaire businessman Azruddin Mohammed says he will contest the presidential elections in Guyana scheduled for September the 1st this year. President Ifan Ali over the last weekend announced the date for the regional and general elections, and in a video statement on his Facebook page, Mohammed said, "I'm stepping forward today as a young man with a vision for a new Guyana. It is with great honor and humility that I officially declare my candidacy for President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana in the upcoming elections this September the 1st, 2025, he added. I stand ready to raise my hand, put my shoulders to the task, and dedicate my mind and heart to building a world-class Guyana where every citizen is treated equally, not through buzzwords, but through hard work of building trust and forging genuine harmony," he said in a video message. In June last year, the Department of the Treasury of Office of Foreign Assets Control announced that it had sanctioned members of one of the Guyanese wealthiest families, a Guyana government official, as well as company as a company for their role in public corruption in the Caribbean. Let me read that again. So this billionaire who is putting himself up for presidency of Guyana, last year, June, the Department of Treasury of Office of Foreign Assets Control, OFAC, announced that it had sanctioned members of one of the Guyana's wealthiest families, a Guyana government official, as well as a company for their role in public corruption in the Caribbean community, CARICOM. In addition to imposing the sanction on Nazar Mohammed, his son Azruddin, their company, Mohammed's Enterprise, and government official May Thomas, OFAC has designated two other entities, Hardy World and Team Mohammed Racing Team, for being owned or controlled by Mohammed's Enterprise and Azruddin, respectively. It said that these individuals and entities are sanctioned pursuant to Executive Order 13818, which builds upon and implements the Global Magnitsky Human Rights Accountability Act and targets perpetrators of serious human rights abuse and corruption around the world. Under Secretary of the Treasury for Terrorism and Financial Intelligence, Brian E. Nelson said then that the action underscores our commitment to holding accountable those who seek to exploit Guyana's underprivileged gold sector for personal gain. The U.S. authorities say gold is one of Guyana's main exports, but it remains a highly fractured industry, with small-scale gold mining operation in Guyana occupying a major share of the country's gold production. So this is the gentleman who he and his father and their companies have been sanctioned by the Treasury Department for corruption, alleged corruption, etc. He is putting up himself to be, I think, the president of Guyana, or so we have in this country, we like to speak about, let me see my nose and running, right? Okay. We like to speak about, oh, why we can't be like Singapore and Dubai. Why? So let me tell you what's going on in Singapore. More demerit points, higher fines for speeding offences from January 1st, 2026. This is in the Straits Time, ST, and this is May 28th, 2025. Singapore. Motorists caught speeding will receive heavier penalties from 2026, said the Ministry of Home Affairs on May 28th. These include more demerit points and higher composition sums for these offences. Motorists who go over their vehicular or road speed limit can expect to receive between 2 and 6 times more demerit points. Those caught driving not more than 20 kilometers above the speed limit will receive 6 demerit points, up from the current penalty of 4 demerit points. Motorists who go over the speed limit by 41 kilometers to 50 kilometers will get 18 demerit points, up from the current 12 points. They will also be charged in court. In a press release on May 28th, excuse me, the Ministry Ministry of Home Affairs, MHA, excuse me, which part of which? In a press release on May 20th, Ministry of Home Affairs said the composition fines will increase by $50 to $150 depending on the severity and the type of vehicle. Motorists who receive 24 demerit points within 24 months will have their license suspended. The new penalties will take effect from January 1st, 2026. In response to queries from the Straits Times, Ministry of Homeland Affairs said that the new penalties will take effect again from 2026 to provide adequate time for public education and awareness. In its statistics released on February 21st, the traffic police said that the number of people killed and injured in traffic accidents hit a 5-year high in 2024, with speeding contributing to 1 in 3 fatal crashes. The number of speeding violations also reached a 10-year high in 2024, with 192,000 cases, more than double the number in 2023. In 2024, there were 7,188 road accidents, 142 fatalities, said MHA. There were also a 43.8% increase in speeding-related fatal accidents from 32 cases in 2023 to 46 cases in 2024. The enhanced penalties underscores MHA commitment to maintaining road safety. Road safety is ultimately a shared responsibility, said the ministry. Motorists are urged to adhere to speed limits and drive safely for their own protection and that of other road users. MHA will continue to review our laws and policies as necessary in order to keep our roads safe. In March, an internal security department officer was fined $7,000 for speeding and causing harm to 5 other people. Badruzam Kazim ran a red light while driving in Boomlay in March 2024. His car collided with another vehicle, injuring the driver and 4 passengers. Most of the 5 victims suffered bruises to their bodies. Badruzam, 57, was also disqualified from holding or obtaining all classes of driving license for 1.5 years. In July 2024, a 60-year-old man who beat a red light while driving above the speed limit was fined $2,000 and disqualified from driving for 15 months. This was the first time a motorist had been tried in court for speeding violation, captured by the speed enforcement function in a red light camera, said the police. I'll leave that there. Because while in this country, people are happy that they get rid of the demerit point system. In Singapore, that they always want Trinidad and Tobago to come like. Them have the demerit point system. But they don't understand the way how Singapore has been able to keep the society disciplined and in order. A lot of dictatorship would have gone on. Go, I just say, go in Singapore and chew chewing gum and throw it on the ground. Go and litter in Singapore now. Go and walk the road, all kind of piece of clothes and all kind of thing, and ball is your right, is my body, and I could take. Go just wind up all in the road and cuss people just about it's freedom of speech. Go there. All is a bunch of jokers, some all there, yes. Always want to be like other country and don't want to do the things the other country does do to bring the country in order. So I'm saying also, like I leave and not all them thing right now, you see me? I see that Minister Homeland Affairs, Roger Alexander, is telling police officers don't abuse the sick leave. I hope when he was a police officer, he didn't used to do that. Because that has happened to some of them, you know. When there was junior workers, whatever, they're doing all kind of things. I see when they come senior workers, senior officers now, there is the most oppressive they could get. And they don't get the respect because people that say, we're playing, she come to tell me, and when she was thing or he was thing, he said worse than that. They could come and tell me something. And then when respect break down in the department, they just want to know why. It's because nobody respect all it. Because all the behaviors before. So I'm just saying, I hope Minister Alexander wasn't one of those officers who also used to abuse sick leave, according to him, that they're abusing sick leave. I'm seeing also, Khadija Amin is saying that jobs in the corporations are under review. That's what they wanted. That's all they wanted, so you could see people getting sent home. That's my opinion. One job or not a review. And you know the UNC have a history. At least 200 jobs tied to the change management unit of the Rural Development and Local Government Ministry are under review. So you can hear 200 people going home. Me even reading that. That's all they wanted. All they hear is stop this, stop TTRMA, stop property tax, stop the merit points, stop the tax here, stop the taxes, stop the taxes. And as somebody was rightly saying, if you want to borrow money from any institution, whatever, they don't lend you money to pay recurring expenditures. You know. They lend money for development of the country and for programs and whatever. Money for recurring expenditure comes from taxes, corporate taxes, property taxes, and all different taxes that way pay recurring expenditure. And recurring expenditure, a large chunk of the money goes into paying public sector workers' salary and wages and all that, right? So all this, it's sounding nice. Oh, she cut this, she cut in this, and oh, she's a nice, again, nice lady talk. Oh, and she's a mother, and she understands and all that. But at what cost will it cost us in the long run? I just asking. So I'm seeing here, PM2. Well, what I've talked about that already, said he did more. He did more in 2 weeks, but it will be a month now, than Marvin Gonzalez. That don't even make no sense, me even reading that, trust me, no sense. Because it's not possible. The kind of work, give Jackie Jacket, the kind of work that Minister Gonzalez at the time, Minister of Public Utilities, would have put in. Barry Paddock can't even start to dream about doing anything like that. Because I think he's even competent. That's another thing. Let me call it as I could call it on both sides, you know. I don't even think Prime Minister to Mr. Barry competent for the job he holding now. I really don't. But everybody seemed to say they could surprise. I don't want nobody surprising. I'm also seeing that senior public officers are yet to receive any correspondence from the Defense Ministry mandating them to register 3 of the recently returned deportees on the public sex offenders website. So they have no authorization to do it, and I find that to be disheartening. Because if they could register Trinidad and Tobago citizens and put them on the sex offenders registry so that people will know, hey, avoid these people, wherever. These Trinidadians coming back here should have been automatic that their name also be added to the sex registry department. So instead of talking about sick leave, and the next one talking about he didn't want a ministry, and talking in some video, talking about giving young people work, don't worry, you don't have to have passes, don't worry yourself, you go in a order and all them things. These are things always supposed to be on board with, because more will be coming. I just saying. So John Jeremy, some people who does look like we boy, oh God. 21 hours ago in the Guardian committee to share, and I just keep quiet. While he welcomes the involvement of attorneys in shaping stand your ground, Minister of Homeland Security Roger Alexander is adamant that voices from all walks of life must also be included in the consultative process for any law or policy. On Monday, Attorney General John Jeremy told Guardian Media that the Ministry of Homeland Security was tasked with assembling a committee to consult on the creation of stand your ground legislation. Jeremy said he anticipated that once the committee was established by the end of June, recommendation would be laid in Parliament after the upcoming mid-year budget review. Stand your ground legislation has been popularized in the US, which allows citizens to use deadly force rather than retreat if they are in a specific place where they are allowed to be, their homes, if they believe they're in danger. Excuse me. During a political meeting in Cuba in April 2023, then opposition leader Kamala Persaud announced that it was her intention to bring stand your ground legislation to combat home invasions if the UNC was elected. Speaking on Guardian Media yesterday, Alexander said he anticipated that the committee will be formed within the next month. He said it will consist of attorneys, police officers, and the public to guide the structure and mechanism behind the law. He noted that while they will provide suitable or valuable insights, attorneys alone will not allow for a full development of the policies. Many times we often create laws for citizens based on just being an attorney. But look at it this way: the attorney would know the loopholes of a defense or a prosecution limitation for it. He noted that the public insight would also be valuable as he felt the need for them to include in matters that directly affect them. I would have asked why we're not hearing the Honorable Opposition Leader, Mrs. Penelope Beckers Robinson, why she's not saying anything on this. And I was told, people abusing me, that nothing come, she ain't get nothing yet. So basically, it didn't come in Parliament yet. So I was saying, so you need to wait until it reaches the Parliament to see what they're bringing. I wasn't talking about that. I was talking about informing people in the meantime and educating people in the meantime on what stand your ground laws means, the advantages, the disadvantages. Because some people have it in their mind that simply you have a gun, somebody pisses you to shut off, or you have people in mind and a scene play off and you shoot the person and you claim you did feeling threatened. So people need to be clear on this. The opposition leader needs to understand that just last year, I think it was, a pundit was saying without any type of information, evidence, or data, that it was youths from the urban communities. And when they say urban communities, they mean Laventille, Beetham, Arima, these areas. We have a large percentage of youths of African descent was targeting Indians in Aranguez. That was all the time when Kamala Persaud was talking about load up the matic, cock it back, and all that. What they're telling people, I understand there are already home invasion laws in this country. Now, if I say I want to strengthen it, that's a different. So could the opposition leader not come out and tell us about that also? What is so lacking in the laws we already have pertaining to home invasion that you have to implement something like stand your grounds? Is it because in the home invasion laws we already have that there is a way that you can retreat, you could de-escalate a situation, so you can run, you can hide if you have a safe room and get out of it, rather than stand up and say, I go give you lead? Is it because our home invasion laws doesn't have that? Because I don't think some people understand. It sounds good, you shoot somebody that come in your house and you shoot them, bang, bang, they're wherever it is. That's not an easy thing to bear on them. The same way let us say that the people who come in to rob and Ting and who killing people, there's monsters and whatever. It ain't easy. I give you an opinion here based on I would have done. It's not easy to take somebody's life and be normal with it after, you know. When the adrenaline going on with self-defense, they come to your home and they could have and reality, you would have taken a life. So all who feeling, now I go have a gun, as they come in, I go light them up. It's not as easy as that. In the heat of the moment, yes, because ting, when that cool down, and you bring those laws now, you think the people who come, again, I'm looking at both sides, don't get me twisted and say I for this, I for that. I'm saying that is why we need to have conversations or no. The person coming to invade your home knowing that you have a gun, you think they come in, knock, 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 them coming to done it one time because them know you could done them. These are conversations, open conversation we're supposed to be having. But they're waiting, I understand, until it goes in Parliament. And by the time it goes in Parliament, how much people does watch the... I want to ask Madam Opposition Leader, the Honorable Penelope Beckers Robinson, how much people does watch Parliament? That they will hear your sterling contribution, that everybody said, give you time, you will bring the fire. How much people are going to be watching those things? So that is why, instead of just going around and meet badge groups and all that about boosting your thing for political leader, in my opinion, have those conversations also. What they think about it and gather data and information from there. Hear people concerns. Because we start to think in terms after we heard the pundit talk that, so if you as an African person, African descent, end up walking in Westmoreland or Ellerslie Park or anything, not that you're going to thief nothing from nobody, wherever, but you might be passing it to come out on the next road, or you're going to legitimately look for somebody, that somebody could see you in the area and say they feel threatened because they see a black person, because they know Weezy face a crime, and shoot them and declare stand your ground. Those are things we want to know if it could happen. Or you get lost with a vehicle, driving in the night, coming from part wherever, and end up in an area that's predominantly of Indian descent, and they see the car, hear the music, you might stop the car to come out, and them say they think they're coming out to do them something, and they light up the whole car, and then say, stand your ground. So that's why I'm saying there must be a conversation. Let us understand what this thing really is, because when we read it, and we see it in black and white, let me just say we again. When I read it and I see in black and white, these are the conversations I would like to hear, right? So I'm reading here. A stand your ground law removes the traditional duty to retreat when using self-defense. It allows individuals to use deadly force when they reasonably believe it's necessary to defend themselves, even if they could safely retreat from a situation. So you know what that tells me there? Suppose you had no reason. Suppose you had no reason at all. When I said that you're reasoning in there, you're reasoning in there at all. And there's a situation happen, you could get out of it. But you decide, me ain't running nowhere, me ain't going nowhere. I got done it now. That's what I really want, and then turn around about the defending itself. You all need to be careful with the lines all they want us to cross, and because we cross it, we can't come back across it. And just remember, we have 1.5 million people living here. Traditionally, if someone could safely retreat from a threat, they had a duty to do so before using deadly force. These stand your ground laws, these laws eliminate the duty to retreat in certain circumstances, particularly when an individual believes they're in imminent danger. The key is that the individual must reasonably believe that the use of deadly force is necessary to defend themselves. Stand your ground laws generally apply in public spaces, while traditional self-defense laws often have a higher threshold for the use of deadly force in one's home, the Casa Doctrine. Some stand your ground laws also include provision that if a person is in the process of unlawfully and forcefully entering or attempting to remove against their will from a dwelling, residence, or vehicle, they are presumed to have a reasonable fear of imminent peril, potentially further reducing the burden on the individual to prove self-defense. You hear that? When I stand your ground, it seems that you as the one have to make the decision. Not the police, not nobody else. You is the one who make the decision to stand your ground or not. And there are people who have no reasoning. There are people who are tempered. There are people who think before action. There are people who are bad mind. There are people who are wicked. All these scenarios. So you all don't think that we should have some conversation on this? I understand there are people who have been victim of crime, and as such, they don't care. They want to defend themselves. I'm sure there are persons who would have lost their loved ones because of crime, and all they're interested in is being able to defend themselves. I hear that. I understand that. But it goes more than that. Stand your ground laws, which allows individuals to use force, including deadly force, that's another explanation, in self-defense without a duty to retreat, are primarily found in the United States, particularly in the states level and in some countries like France. United States. Many US states have adopted stand your ground laws, which vary in specific details but generally remove the obligation to retreat before using force in self-defense. In France, self-defense laws, specifically Article 122-5 of the French Criminal Code, are similar to stand your ground laws in that they allow for reasonable force in self-defense without a mandatory duty to retreat. While stand your ground laws are not as widespread globally as in the US, some countries may have provisions that allow for self-defense without a duty to retreat, but it is often framed within a broader context of proportionality and reasonableness. The specific details of these laws vary. Some laws might focus on the location of self-defense, that is your home, or nature of the retreat, example, imminent danger of death or serious bodily harm according to law. An example, Alabama stand your ground laws, for instance, allows individuals to meet force with force, including deadly force, if they reasonably, you hear the word again, reasonably, believe it is necessary to prevent imminent death, serious bodily harm, or the commission of a forcible felony without a duty to retreat according to a law firm. The potential negatives of stand your ground laws increase homicide rates. Studies have suggested a correlation between the enactment of stand your ground laws and increases in firearm homicides, escalation in violence. Critics argue that these laws can encourage a quicker escalation into deadly force instead of diffusing situation. Impulsive and unjustified use of deadly force. Opponents fear that the law may insensitize the use of deadly force in situations where it is not truly necessary. The disproportionate impact on communities of color. Some studies indicate that these laws may disproportionately affect communities of color. In our country, it will affect communities of African people. Let me be real. And don't tell me nothing is African people who commit an only crime. That's not what I'm talking about. That's a different conversation. Difficulties in determining proportionality. In court cases, determining whether the use of deadly force was justified can be complex, making it difficult to establish a proportional response to the perceived threat. And that's what I'm saying again. Courts don't deal with in subjectivity, they deal in objectivity. And don't deal in opinions, they deal in facts and reality. So if you say you was reasonably sure that you were under imminent danger, and because of that you stand your ground and you shoot the person or persons, whatever. When you go to court, it's not a slam down case. They have now to show whether or not you would have had the right was to adopt standing ground laws, and those are things that people need to come and tell us about. Is it that if you use the standing ground laws, you don't have to go to court again? That is it. You just tell the police, I was feeling reasonably like I under threat, and I take in front before in front take me, and that is the end of it? Or do we have to go to court? Could somebody come out and tell us that and not wait until it goes into parliament where people ain't gonna be watching and we don't understand anyway? Communities and talk to us now. Something is so hard for people to do that. Not just this area here. Yes, standing ground laws do not cut crime but risk public health safety. And this was in www.ox.ac.uk. Standing ground laws designed to protect individuals who actively defend themselves from crime have not improved public safety across the United States, according to a new study in the American Journal of Public Health. In some states nearby notably Florida, such laws have led to increases in violent crimes and homicides. Evidence suggests that standing ground laws are effective in preventing crime and homicide.
later quashed his corruption convictions in 2005. But let us be absolutely clear. The Privy Council did not erase the fact that Jagdeo Singh failed to appear in court. They did not erase the warrant issued for his arrest. They did not erase the perception that he chose to flee justice. The facts of his behavior remain. How can a man who once disregarded Trinidad and Tobago's courts now preside over its parliament, often called the highest court in the land? The very individual tasked with upholding parliamentary order, integrity, and respect for legal process carries this indelible mark. This appointment, made by Kamla Prasad Bisasar, shows a profound lapse in judgment. Both the Parliament and the nation deserve a speaker whose past unequivocally demonstrates unwavering respect for the rule of law, not a history of evasion. This is a matter of profound public confidence. Will Trinidad and Tobago accept this standard for their highest office?
I want to ask the opposition leader, the Honorable Mrs. Penelope Beckles Robinson. I generally ask you this question. You think the PNM could have put a speaker of the House with what I just played here? And the UNC and the community and the people of this country speak out against it, and PNM had to drag back the person? Or do you think PNM would ever think about putting up somebody? And again, I have no thing about it. I'm just talking about whether or not the Privy Council squash or not, as the person was residing there. They didn't squash the fact that they had to put a warrant for him and he was on bail. They didn't squash all them names. I think it had to do, if I'm not mistaken, the fact that they didn't look at his character while making the judgment, because I think it was felt, again, it was felt that he wasn't a person that ever did that before. So they should have looked at that as a mitigating factor into making a judgment or something to that thing. But my point is not all I'm talking about. You think PNM could have put up somebody like that? You remember when the PNM was going to put up some senator or some kind of thing, so the man get a DUI in America. A DUI, driving under the influence. Dr. Rowley and them even put it up a year because it started a whole bacchanal that he was charged in America and all that. Do you remember that? So the opposition leader, not going to say nothing about this. It's quite okay. But if it was the PNM that do it and everybody that dragging the PNM would have just pulled them back, right? And that was it. You see this conversation that the PNM is held to a higher standard? That is an excuse the society does make and the UNC does make to do what the hell they want. And then after put all the burden of this behavior and go behave on the PNM, and PNM fall for that shit for years and years. So the PNM always walking around, don't say this, don't say that. No. Me are saying to move away from standards, moral and ethics, but we have to find a way to fight back. Or they can just be taking all them blows just so the PNM higher standard, the PNM can't mash and the PNM can't do this. That is excuse they're making to keep all in that box. That's all afraid to step out and say, because people say, all of the PNM, Or they sit down there and continue with that, and the UNC can use that as a boa in a stick fight. So the PNM is held to a high standard on PNM, and PNM saying, we can't say this, we can't say that. No, don't say that, don't say that. Don't find a way to treat with that. Again, me and say nobody should move away from the morals and ethics, and not me. I ain't doing that. I'm not saying that. I want to end by this. This came to me, and I found it to be very interesting. It's the story of Joseph from the Bible. This society is a large percentage of people who are Christians, Roman Catholic and all the others. And the Bible is something, and you go to church on a Sunday, Bible in your hand. Sunday Mass. The Bible is used and all that, yeah? Me and a church goer, I'm not averse to going to church, but me ain't no church girl. You ain't getting me Sunday morning to get up to go in no church. Listen, I was sit down right there and I talk to God normal, and I good. I don't look down at nobody who do it. I respect everybody and the religious belief, the spiritual belief and all that. Just telling about me. So because of this, because I know that our society is a large percentage of people of the Christian faith and they use the Bible. The story of Joseph, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think the Muslim, somebody tell me, the Muslim faith also recognize certain things from the Bible, like Jesus Christ, I think, or something. If I'm not mistaken, because I don't want to be disrespectful to nobody's faith, please, I'm asking a question. Right. So I was watching the story of Joseph. So I was looking at where's the moral. Like, so it says here, the moral story of Joseph and his coat. Because remember, Joseph's father, I think was his father name? Oh Lord, oh yeah, help me now. Jacob. Joseph's father, he had plenty sons. But I think they felt that he favored Joseph more than everybody else, whatever. And when Jacob had given Joseph this nice coat, a colorful coat, well, Lord Father, it caused more bacchanal between Joseph and the brothers and them. Joseph wasn't really aware that the brothers and them thinking so about here. That is the brothers and them and think them older than he and all kind of thing, whatever. But it caused real bacchanal. So I was looking at the moral of the story. So it says, the moral of the story of Joseph and his coat refers to, as the coat of many colors, is that even in the face of adversity and betrayal, God's plan for good can prevail. Joseph's story highlights the theme of jealousy, family, and faith, demonstrating how God can use difficult situations to bring about positive outcomes. And what I'm talking about, the brothers and them, because of that, all of them plot. No, I ain't saying this story like straight, right? I'm saying it my way. So the brothers and them plot and thing. They had to get rid of Joseph because the father, only on Joseph alone, he this big coat Joseph walking around strutting like if Joseph feel he is all that. Yeah. So they decided to go and harm Joseph physically. But our next brother said, no, we can't do that, whatever. So they throw him inside a pit or some kind of thing and leave him there. And and they go on the way. So when some kind of other tribe or whatever it is was passing, whatever, I think they hear Joseph crying or whatever the case may be, and they take him out, they save him, but he end up in Egypt. Mary helped me with this story now. They end up in Egypt and they came, I think he was Israelite, if I'm mistaken. People, don't vex with me if me ain't call the thing proper, it's just a story, right? And he was put in, well, bondage, if you want to call it so, and that kind of thing. But Joseph had a gift of being able to decipher dreams. So I think when he was in the dungeon thing with the other people, like slaves and all that, the man who was in charge of them and whatever, like he used to get some dreams and whatever, and Joseph will talk and thing, and Joseph will decipher the dreams and like the dream, it used to come true, whatever. So then the Pharaoh now started to get this recurring dream that burden, and none of the people, the magician and whatever, them could decipher this dream, and it burden him, he can't sleep and whatever. I think he dreamed something about these healthy thing of grass eat up our next one, or the sick one, right? Something to do with that. The sick eat up the healthy or vice versa, whatever it is. He couldn't decipher what it means. So the man who was in charge of the kind of dungeon thing where all them, they had the Israelites and them was slave and thing. He said, well, let's have a boy down there, a man down there who he could decipher dream and thing. So the Pharaoh sent for him and thing, and the Pharaoh tell him the dream and he deciphered it. What he deciphered is this, listen. For 7 years, we gonna have food. We gonna have plant thing, everything. You see, for them 7 years, we build big shed and what, and we harvest everything, harvest. Because for the next 7 years, we go meet famine. You go have real famine and hunger and all them things, we go have enough food to eat and thing. So the Pharaoh take his word and thing, and it's really happening truth and whatever. And when the famine start, them used to be all nation all over used to come to them to get food, and Joseph was the man in charge of all that, right? So that was the story there in a way. So let me continue. So jealousy and favoritism. Joseph's father Jacob favored him with the ornate coat, leading to jealousy and resentment from his brothers. The brothers, motivated by jealousy, plot to harm him and Joseph and ultimately sell him into slavery. Despite the hardship, God was with Joseph, guiding him through his trial and tribulations. If I didn't do justice to the story, you'll forgive me now, but all they get the gist, right? Joseph's story culminates in his rise to power in Egypt, where he eventually forgets his brother and provides for their family during famine. Joseph's unwavering faith in God helps him endure difficult times and trusts God's plan will ultimately lead them to good. So, working together for good, Joseph's brothers' action, though intended for evil, ultimately served God's plan to preserve Jacob's family in Egypt, as Joseph himself acknowledged. So, as I was saying again, so Joseph's family and them end up coming to Egypt to get food and whatever. But Joseph recognized them didn't recognize he. And he talked to them and I think he even asked them with his father and all that. But the thing is this, Joseph didn't have hate for them and all that. So what Joseph did, I think Joseph takes something, or tell one of the people take something and put it in one of them basket or whatever. And then when they were leaving, they hold them and say the thief. And they had it in the little brother, Reuben, I think was his name, in his thing, right? And when they say, Joseph said, well, they were holy. And I think they say, no, we can't go back home without Ruth, because the father don't lose one son already. They know what he could do if he loses his son. And they beg for the brother and thing. And Joseph saw how they had love for the brother and all that. The end of the whole thing is this. Joseph tell them go for the father and come back and thing, and then he think himself and he realizes the brother and they had love for him, they asked for forgiveness and whatever, and they were able to have food and all that. So the story is really is this. You see, when people jealous here and they feel they're doing something because they feel they take away your light and they embarrass you and all them kind of thing, sometimes they don't understand, and you doing that is elevating you more. So the trial and tribulation you going through, you tell yourself, oh, what is, but you know what they're doing? It's like going through the fire and burning and coming out and the next time shining. And the people who do it the wrong, themselves have to come right back. Ask for help, look for help, or everybody make them out for how they're wicked. And then everybody look to you and say, so, let me tell you, I go in with this story. I'll end in with this mere business for this thing. I tell them I member of Parliament, MP Stuart Richard Young. Don't study the ridicule that they put you through. Don't study all the things they're saying and all who fighting and backstabbing and all who say they're supporting you, and instead of supporting, they're going all over the place and saying all that. Don't study them things. Yes, it hurts. Because I know you're a genuine person, you could feel it. People who have good intuition could feel your genuineness. You're perfect because no man perfect. You didn't deserve. Don't matter the one that said Dr. Ronnie bring you, you didn't deserve how you get treated and they continue to treat you. You don't deserve it. But I'm telling you something. I tell my member of Parliament something. Hold your head high. You ain't do nobody nothing. You was doing it in genuine love and togetherness. And they see the love. They see the love that the people on the ground had for you. And in my opinion, like they get them worried. Because like them don't get that kind of love. I seen Sandy Grandi. You take almost 10 minutes to get on the stage and see some of them face. And it's not because you play thing. People were generally coming to hug you, cheering and all that. And you're that type of person. You don't shun nobody. So all who think, all they do, Minister Stuart Richard Young something by embarrassing him, by betraying him, by treating him as if he do something wrong. Let me tell you something. The stone the builder refused. You feel the stone have to look like we? You feel the stone have to be black and African? You feel the stone have to be Indian or Chinese or Syrian? It could be anybody. The stone that the builder refused that become the chief cornerstone. And sometimes when people feel they're doing a thing, so that them light could shine. You know what them light shining to show people how they're wicked, how they're jealous, how they're evil. And you the one they're trying to fight on. You know, people are saying and say, you get elevated because people say, no, he deserve that, she deserve that. So I'm telling you as my member of parliament, stay out the people internal election. And I know business who vexed me, stay out. Where's the membership list? We hear who register who. We ain't see no auditing, nothing at all. Let me not say we because I ain't no big thing, whatever. But people saying they ain't see no audited list, they have no membership list. How could you have an internal election and no membership list of people to see what's going on? In the PSA, when we have an election, we just make noise and get on. I want to go to court to stop election because we ain't get the membership list because the general secretary, I talking about PSA. The general secretary job is to get the membership list in order so we know all who voted, all who financially legible, who drop out, who ain't drop out and that. And the list is sanitized, not sanitized to put this and put that, but sanitized and send that this list again, this is the voters on it. In the PSA, actions with these primers, that's what we just do. When did it stop the injunction in 2017 election? Because of that, the membership list, PSA. So PSA is a small union. We mustn't have as much members as the People's National Movement. And you tell me people ain't getting the membership list and all them things and who was registered and all them kind of thing, wherever it is. So when people talk about it looking like it's rigged and looking like it's skewed and all that, you can vex the people. As I said in PSA, we used to want to see the elections and the general secretary of the PSA had the duties to do, and if they didn't do it, then you end up in court case. So what I'm talking about, I tell my member of parliament again, all of them who shun you, embarrass you, insult you, who fool you into thinking that you had a support, you don't worry. Yes, it'll be hurt because there's a human being have feelings, but don't worry. You keep doing the right thing, keep doing what is right for in the interest of Trinidad and Tobago, not in the interest of power and position and money. Do it in the interest of Trinidad and Tobago, and people will recognize your worth. I say so, let them go back and say I say so. Jen and I feel it could be Anton, the hot mic thing, where the girl he's talking about the Zami whatever, and that become a big issue. The speaker of the house and all this, and the set went overboard. We're talking about it like if Zami is a word we don't use in this country. Everybody, well, not them young children, but we all in 60s, 50s, and we know the hell when they say people Zami and what I mean. That's an insult. As I tell somebody, so if they say Tom and Mary going in the bush and have sex, that is an insult. Anywho, so as I was saying, don't worry. The stony builder refuses end up being the head cornerstone. They don't like to hear the truth, so they curse me and say I'm a hypocrite and whatever. They can't say a lie. I don't want position in PNM. I don't want nobody in PNM give me nothing. I don't eat out. I try my best to eat before I go anyway. I hardly drink, I never do drink alcohol. And I don't push up myself in no function they having and all that. So me and saying and doing what I thinking because I want something, Papa. No, let me rephrase that. I want something. Here what I want. I want the PNM to be the strongest to stand up against the opposition on 2030 come, we beat their backside. That's what I want. That's what I want. That is what I want. You see that? And because it's that I want, I will continue to advocate on the outside. I don't want no house, I don't want no car, me want no money, me want no favor. What I want is for the PNM to come strong and get the wetty thunder in the interest of Trinidad and Tobago and the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, so that 2030, they want nothing with the PNM. That's what I want. And that's why I do what I do. So all who feel like doing it because I was something and Stuart Young gave me something and all that, take that from all of mine. I do what I do because I want the best for my country. And if the best of my country is not what we have now, why must I not say so? And we just go along with it, and then when you see them in Parliament, oh God, no, but no, stop that stupidness. Stop that stupidness. So let me see all who here. Debbie, Kiki, Gail, Elizabeth, Rosemary, Destiny, Lucy, Shireen, Owen, Sharon, Ruthven, happy birthday again, Ruthven. Nesta, hope you also want to play the song for you. Paula, Andre, Brian, Joseph, Cassie, Diamond, Trini Jewels, Jennifer Dorset, Kathleen, Denise, Andre, Ross, Angela, Rodriguez. Look, Miss Loco, I was really supposed to call you. Please accept my condolences. I heard from Miss Pauline. My apologies for not getting in contact with you. I hope everything is well. I will really try to give you a call probably when we finish here, right? Anne-Marie, Yvonne, Hollister, Roslyn, Norton, Gogis, Cheryl Hall, my old friend from Pune, Bernadine Proud, Lenore, Herman Philip, Elise, Philomene, Joanne, Balti. All of that is a man. He put me in my place. He says a man and a woman. Angela, Jenny Joseph, Sharon R. Williams, Mary Hare, my whole friend. I wouldn't tell all from me. Arlene, Lucy, and Stuart, but she can contest the things I talk about the PSA. Mary, tell me when I come from calling all them if I lie, but how General Counsel was if we used to come out in the days of Ms. Matisse Primus and go to any media to talk about the bacchanal we have in PSA. Arlene, Donna, Leslie, because that could have ended up getting suspended as a General Counsel member and even expelled. Tell me if I lie, Mary. Leslie, Valerie, Yvette, Joycelyn, Ophelia, Hazel, Mr. Frank, Joycelyn, Helen Rasunas Pleasantville, Marie, Figaro, Leonard, Galen, Jace Jackson, Anton, Batiste, Charles, Chris, my whole family from Pune, Emmeline. I hope you're feeling well, Charles. You're under the weather. Sarah, Bethel, McIntosh. So I want to thank you all for listening, locked on, tuning. The facts and stuff. So let me talk to you. But at the end of the day, it's facts and stuff and things, right? And again, I make no apologies for what I say. People may not like how I say it. That's okay. Not everybody like my style of delivery. I understand that. There are people's style of delivery I don't like either. Like the opposition leader, I don't like her delivery. And it's within my rights to say that. Yeah? Okay. So, see you all on Friday. God's play on a comment something fresh, something new. This is girl Jen, Sister Jenny, Auntie Jenny. And if you want to get formal, it's Miss Jennifer Frederick. Another edition, let me talk the thing. And as I say again, my interpretation of the story with Joseph and quote and all that may not have been on point, but all they know the gist of it, all they understand, and meant no disrespect, not at all. But I know they know the story and the point I was trying to make, right? Hi, Dan, Alad Mohammed. So, blessings, people, and I continue to trot on, and as I continue to say it again, so if it was closing the fridge, whatever it is, so come on my page, my Facebook page, and if I respond to all the page, call me a hypocrite, call me a say as a jackass, tell me I'm talking shit, tell me I have false narrative, or whatever. But not one more thing, all they can tell me what is the capability and the ability of the present opposition leader in carrying this PNM with 13 members, including herself, forward. Or they can't tell me that. Yeah. So that's why I continue to say again, until I could see that, I continue to see a performance, and it has not been a strong one. When I read articles about her done by deceased Selwyn Ryan, it does not paint a good picture. When I look at how she treated the case with the workers and McLeod and all that, it's worse yet. Yeah. When I ask people about her law career and all that, it's dismal also. When I ask people about her stewardship in the ministries, you're getting the same response all over the place. So I'm waiting to see who's supporting her saying when she get there, she will be I don't get it. And as I say again, If when you get there, you're going to do things you never do before in all them years, to me, that has been deceitful. Because it means to say you was pretending like you ting, and you really so and so. So, yeah, who don't like it? Goodbye to it. You all have a blessed night. Love you all. See you all on Friday, God's spare. Yeah, I will do something Friday, right? Much love. I'm gone.